Hello again, welcome back to the Fire Burns Within channel. This is a 30-year anniversary review video. Sepultura's Arise turned 30 a few days ago, March 25th, 1991. It was released, so today's 6th of April. Last week sometime, it turned 30 years old. Now, this was an album I probably heard, I'd say around 94 for the first time. I wouldn't have heard it. In 91, I was just turning onto metal. I was getting into a little bit of Metallica and so on, and Nirvana, I hate to admit. But anyway, I hadn't really heard Sepultura. I heard Chaos AD when it came out in, was it 93 or 94, something around then. Then I went back and started exploring the earlier stuff. But the really early stuff is not for me. It's far too raw. I like Beneath the Remains. It's good as well, but Arise is probably my favorite Sepultura album. Probably. I mean, I'm not a huge Sepultura fan in general, but it's probably my favorite album of theirs. Although I do like Chaos AD as well. Roots, I remember buying in. Chaos AD I bought straight away in '93. I remember buying Roots in 1996, and it was like huge. It was huge. I mean, it was a huge album, but I didn't really get into it. I didn't like it. I know people love Roots, but anyway, this video is about Arise, so let's not go too much into that. Roots. So I'm going to do a track ranking for Arise. There's 9 tracks on the album. I'm going to start with the 9th track and work my way up to my favorite track on the album. So there was three members on this album. Max, of course, Andreas Kisser, and Igor, the drummer. He's Max's brother. There was no bass player listed from what I can see. Andreas Kisser was playing bass as well, but the bass player Paolo, I think he joined just at the same time, but he didn't play on this album. Scott Burns was the producer in Morris Sound. I think this was their first album outside of Brazil, recorded outside of Brazil. Unfortunately, I really don't like the sound on this album. Although it's my favorite Sepultura album music-wise, the sound on the album is not really... It's not a good production in my opinion anyway. I mean, it's just far too... I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit raw sounding. I guess Morris Sound was the go-to studio at that time, you know, for the Floridian death metal mob. But the productions coming out of that time were sort of, I don't know, a little bit weak, shall I say? A little bit unclear, a little bit muddy. Not a very clear guitar tone. And it's the same with this album. I mean, the 2018 remaster is pretty good. I mean, it does improve on things, but it can't improve that much to the point where everything sounds amazing or great like in modern days. Anyway, let's get on with this ranking. In 9th place, I've got the song Subtraction. It's an okay song. It's a bit raw. It's sort of like it's pummeling you at the start. It's a solid song. It sits in last place for me. It's a heavy song. It's a pummeling song. It even gets quite heavier towards the end. So if you like it really thrashy and aggressive and pummeling, you probably might place this a little bit higher, maybe in the middle of the rankings. But for me, it sits in 9th place. In 8th place, I've got Under Siege and Regnum Irae. Smooth acoustics at the start, then a stabbing staccato riff comes into view. You got those spooky echoey vocal effects, and then you got that pounding mid-tempo riff, and then you got the injection of a little bit of speed. It's a good song, various tempo changes towards the end. It's a good song. The solo is cool, but it's not a huge favourite of mine on the album. Okay, in 7th place, I've got Altered State. This one starts off with a little bit of tribal drumming, so it's giving you the hints of what would come on Chaos AD and Roots and so on, where they would just fully incorporate that tribal feeling. It's got this sort of like spooky wind effect as well, and then you can hear a few pipes, South American style pipes, so you immediately get the Amazonian vibe from the song. The song is quite good. It's pretty mid-tempo. It's sort of groovy. Hints more of the later era of the band, if you like. It's a good solo as well. There's a good solo in the song from Andreas Kisser. It's a good song, but sits in 7th place for me. In 6th place, we've got the song Murder. This one again has varying tempos, but I like the galloping riffs in the verses. Very cool, some twisted riffing, hammering chorus. Love the galloping catchiness in this track. The solo is really melodic in this track as well. Very cool melodic solo. In 5th place, we've got Meaningless Movements. That opening riff is a real hammer. Very cool stop start. Then you got that chugging away, the chug riff. Then you got unrelenting pace injections. Some good ideas going on. This song is a little bit underrated for me. It is a nice riff progression, great chorus to shout along with. It's got that typical Sepultura style, staccato chorus shouting. Very cool. Okay, in 4th place, I've got the final track on the album, Infected Voice. This one's a real hammer, very cool riffs flying at you from all angles, very catchy chorus. Who doesn't shout Infected Voice at the right times for this one? A twisted riffage at the end. The riffage on this one is very cool, very melodic. If you like to do a little bit of air guitar on this one is very suitable for air guitar fans. Okay, in 3rd place, you've got the best 3 songs on the album, no doubt. Dead Embryonic Cells is a classic track. It's an awesome Sepultura track. Every Seps fans loves Dead Embryonic Cell. Very catchy riffs, very cool tempo changes. Huge breakdown riff towards the end, that famous stomping, pounding riff. Great for headbangers. It's a great song. It could easily be the best song, if you like, in another day, but it sits at 3rd place today. In 2nd place, we've got the opening track, Arise. This one is just a hammer, a frenetic, pounding, thrashy song. The opening riff is like very iconic. All Sepultura fans know that riff. It's just a classic pounding, thrashy riff. Pure aggression. It's like a call to arms. Let's arise. Let's do this, thrashers. This is what it's all about. Okay, but in 1st place, if you haven't worked it out by now, is Desperate Cry. This song has it all for a thrash metal fan. On this song, it's got a little bit of hint of tribal drumming. It's got groove, it's got galloping sections, it's got pounding sections, a ripping hard thrashy section, really memorable chorus to shout along with again. It's even got a little bit of acoustics. It's got a killer melodic lead from Andreas Kisser. This song has it all, and it's my number 1 song on the album from Sepultura, Arise. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Tell me in the comments what you think about Sepultura's album Arise, how you would rank the songs, and stay tuned for more reviews, reactions.